Okay, I'm going to say something a little controversial. Well, I don't think it's controversial, but it's the Star Wars fandom. So someone will kill me over this. Here we go. I think at the moment and for the last few years, Star Wars fans have definitely favored animated series over live action series. You could do a whole video series on why that is, but yeah, I think it's safe to say that animated series of Star Wars are doing very well right now, and I think that's for a number of reasons. One that I want to pinpoint here is there's just so much flexibility in the storytelling. You can do so much that you can't really do with live action series for budgetary reasons or just many different causes. But we see that Maul Shadowlord is doing amazing on Disney Plus right now. And I have heard a rumor, and this is what I want to talk about. There's been a rumor going around from a pretty reliable source suggesting that there is going to be some form of a Luke Skywalker centered animated series. Some say it will be Tales of the Jedi Season 2. But what I want to talk about in this video is the amazing opportunity that we have here if Dave Filoni and the rest of the people working on Star Wars play their cards right, which I think they will, because this is a great idea. Like it's not my idea. I think everyone wants this. A series that is essentially the Clone Wars, but for the original trilogy characters, right? Luke, Han, Leia, Chewbacca, basically doing what the Clone Wars did for the prequel trilogy, taking those characters, taking that era, and really just diving in head first, right? Just going for it, showing us so many amazing storylines, so many amazing central and side characters, and just really fleshing out the lore of that time period. Hi, it's me, interrupting me to tell you that something went wrong with my microphone here. Sorry about that. Please keep listening. It's really good. I'm getting a new microphone this week. Thank you. Bye. Back to me. I think it's safe to say, despite the sequel trilogy and some appearances of Luke Skywalker in live action Mandoverse shows, I think the itch to see more of prime Luke and Leia and Han and Chewbacca and more, I think that itch has not been scratched yet. It definitely hasn't for me. That's not to say that I don't think Disney's been doing all right, but basically there is a lot that can be done in that era of Star Wars. First of all, Legends. There are decades worth of amazing stories, amazing book series that flesh out that time period. Unfortunately, a lot of that isn't canon anymore, but we have a great opportunity to make that canon. Basically, a show that is multi-season, focusing on Luke Skywalker and his friends, that could just drop us into what I think is one of the best eras of Star Wars, in an era that is mostly unexplored at the moment. Well, at least unexplored from the perspective of those core characters and from the New Republic. Basically, all we've seen is what we saw in Ahsoka. That gave us a little hint, right? But think about it. Just think about all the amazing things we could see with a show like that. Like we could see Luke seeking out and training young Force users, right? Making the new Jedi Order. We could see Leia and Han and others trying to establish the New Republic, struggling against Imperial remnants, criminal syndicates, opportunists taking advantage of the chaos. Stories like Rogue Squadron fighting to take Coruscant, the emergence of a young clone of Emperor Palpatine, opportunity to do justice to that storyline for those who didn't like how The Rise of Skywalker did it. Also, almost forgot to mention, Heir to the Empire and the invasion of the Yuzong Vong, which are, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm so sorry. Please don't hurt me. Two amazing storylines that are pretty much universally beloved by all fans who know it. This series has the amazing opportunity to really bring those back into canon and flesh it out. And I know that, we're going to get some form of, Thrawn's invasion and Heir to the Empire story in some form in Ahsoka Season 2. But how amazing would it be if Ahsoka Season 2, instead of, giving us one little quick revised version of Thrawn's story, what if it just kickstarts everything happening in this show and shifts it to the perspective of the characters that we really want to get back to, get familiar with again. This show could also do what the Clone Wars did in giving us episodes that follow side characters. Like, we can take all of these characters from the Mandoverse shows, whose shows maybe weren't successful in the end, but who feature beloved characters like Mandalorian and Grogu, the Skeleton Crew, Boba Fett and his underworld operations, which could lead him into conflict with the New Republic and bring him face to face once again with Han, Chewie, Leia, Luke, all of them, and bring back classic bounty hunters like Dengar. Just there's so many amazing opportunities. Also, I don't know if anyone remembers the canceled series Rangers of the New Republic. I was really excited for that. We never got it, but you could do that. You could bring Cobb Vanth, even Cara Dune. You can get a new voice actress for her if need be. I don't know what the current situation is with Disney and that actress, whatever. That could give us a bit of what we lost in that show. You could also, again, we don't know what how Ahsoka season 2 is going to play out, but you could take Ahsoka, you can take the entire Ghost crew from Star Wars Rebels and just have them be there alongside the original trilogy heroes and just really take all of these characters and storylines that are around at the same time period and just mesh them together in the best way. And then there are pretty big ways that this show could, go in a new direction, because I won't get into the sequels of Star Wars, but obviously they're controversial, right? And I think a lot of people want a little something different. This show could potentially, if it went several seasons like the Clone Wars did, it could start to sow the seeds of, some of the things that we saw in the sequels, but then you could use the world between worlds to maybe introduce, I'm not a writer. What if we introduced diverging timelines, right? Using the world between worlds. That way we could keep the sequels, in their time and place still existing, but also introduce diverging timelines where things play out very differently, which would give us maybe something that we were hoping for and we didn't get. Anyway, I could talk for hours on this. I think this series would be amazing. You could do so much with this. It's honestly a shock to me that it hasn't been made yet, and I'm just really hoping this rumor is true. Anyway, this is my first video that I've made on YouTube. I hope you guys liked it. I'm still very much amateur, but definitely passionate about this stuff. Love discussing these ideas. Leave a comment on any ideas you have of characters that could be introduced, of storylines, just anything. And also, I would really appreciate if you could leave a like and subscribe. It would really help me starting to get this up and running. So thank you guys so much. Have a great week. God bless you all.